Hi, everyone, and thanks for being with me. I want to talk today about listening and the power that comes with listening to people. And I'm going to tell a story which has happened to me recently. A few weeks ago, I received a phone call from an Indigenous woman whom I worked with some years ago. She had just been released from prison and she found herself homeless again. She rang me though because she wanted to thank me for the fact that all those years ago, when she was certainly dealing with her current issues, which were present then, which were drug abuse, drug addiction and homelessness and domestic violence. Now, when I was working with her previously, I continued to tell her that she was intelligent, which she is, she's smart, which she is, and that I believed that she was able to manage and deal with the problems that she had, providing she made some choices in her life that were going to benefit her and her family. She struggled primarily with intergenerational trauma. She had grown up in a family that was extremely abusive, particularly her mother in this instance, and where drug use was rampant. She became enticed into the world of drug use, and she had a partner who was violent, and she had a number of children as a result of that relationship. And she certainly, at the end of it, when I first met her, she had one of those children removed by the Department of Child Protection. The point I want to make is that it is evident that she herself was not able to change at this particular time the circumstances in which she found herself. While discussing these issues with her, it was evident that she struggled. She found it really difficult to give up some of the drugs that she was using. She found it difficult to break with some of the associations she had with the people who provided her with those drugs. Now, what I appreciate most, though, is that when she contacted me, I was still able to affirm with her the qualities I believe that she had. And it was this affirmation that resonated with her. It was because somebody, in this case it was me, who was able to say to her, I believe in you. I believe that you have all these other wonderful qualities that you haven't been able to exemplify in your life at this particular point because they've been overshadowed by all these other issues. To this day, I still believe in this woman. I believe that her intelligence, her smarts, her ability to resolve issues is still problematic for her, that she can overcome some of those issues. Now, what does this mean? To me, if we listen to people, if we understand where they come from, if we don't judge, if we hear what they have to say, it resonates with them. Now, this particular woman has not necessarily changed her circumstances at this particular point. I accept that. But what did resonate with her when I was working with her was that I did listen to her. And it's wonderfully affirming for me to know that there are people out there who, for whatever reason, haven't necessarily resolved their problems in the way one would like, but who at least accept that if they're heard, then that has value to them and is something that they appreciate. The problem we have with our society in general is that we fail to listen. We fail to understand what people's experiences are because we're too prepared to judge them. We categorise them. We place them into boxes. We see them as this one sort of fit fits all. And it's wrong and it's unhelpful. But there is something healing, I think, about simply listening to people. To her, being heard was the most important thing to her because no one else had ever done that. And I think this is one of the important issues that comes out of just not only my experiences, but the referendum, the voice, and the need to hear people. And it isn't necessarily about setting up a whole section of a whole group of people that are going to all sit down and vote around certain issues that concern Indigenous people. It's about us finding ways to hear what other people have to say. Now, I was able to do that at a very micro level, one-on-one, and that person recognised that and appreciated that. And that's the starting point. Now, what would it be like for somebody just to never be heard? To have someone like me in my role as a therapist, an advocate and a social worker, to not hear people, to not understand what it is that they're saying. Not to have lived their experiences. I don't have that expectation of myself or others either. But people generally just want us to understand. But they also want us to be kind. They want us to be respectful. They want us to care. And it's important that we find ways to implement all of those things, to care for people, to love them, to appreciate what they've said, to even appreciate where they've come from and the struggles that they've had in their lives. And for us to not necessarily always find ways to resolve those issues, but to affirm the positives that we see in them, to acknowledge that they have a different path, that we can see it. It's only now a matter as to whether they can. So I just wanted to highlight, I think, the benefits of listening to people. I don't want this necessarily to be a post just on the Voice and the Yes campaign, as important as I think that is. It is really about highlighting my experiences and the experience I've had with many other people. I can highlight other circumstances where I've had people contact me where they haven't necessarily been able to resolve their issues, but certainly have appreciated the fact that they have been heard. Hearing what people say, listening to what they say, affirming who they really are, I think is paramount in making the changes that we need to make to our society and to the people we're working with. I hope this is helpful. I hope that you can benefit also from this, and that if you do like what I'm saying, I'd like to think that you could subscribe to my channel, and so that you get notified of further notifications of further videos such as this one. Thanks everybody for being with me. Take care, look after yourselves, and be safe.